Lazarus episode 7, now out. Let's talk about it.
From anime legend Shinichiro Watanabe, Lazarus premieres April 5th at midnight in Toonami.
So Lazarus episode 7 is now available for you guys to go and check out right now. And look, episode 6 was fantastic. I really liked episode 6. To me, it was the best episode of the series so far. I love the stuff with the cult that was going on there. Now we move into episode 7. And what I was expecting from episode 7 was to build on the momentum of episode 6. You know, continue on, giving us more clues, giving me more insight to Skinner, and showcasing certain things that I would want. And episode 7's a weird one for me because there's things I really liked about this episode and things that I thought, ooh, okay, that's actually a very interesting storyline. But then also at the same time, it kind of feels like we've gone nowhere. If you know, I don't know if people feel the same way as me with that. Like, I feel like I'm no closer to finding Skinner than I was in episode 1. I just feel like everything right now has just been, I don't know, just non-relevant in a way. Except for episode 6, because I think episode 6 is very relevant because it's developing a character. It's developing a backstory and giving us an idea of that character, which I don't mind that. I really like that stuff. But episode 7, so they find out, they're like, you know, they go through the codes and stuff like that from what they got from the cult. They find coordinates, and there's these 4 things. Now, one thing I did like in this episode is the world building here. The world building, because now we know a bit more about the world and what the state of it is. So when they get these coordinates, we find out that the last Arctic shelf, ice shelf in the North Pole, has collapsed. It's collapsed, it's melted, it's in the water now. We also find out that there's cities and stuff that are now underwater, islands that are underwater, which I think is a very interesting concept. So we're diving into this already sort of world like a galactic, what am I? We're not in space. A massive scale calamity event that has already occurred within the Earth that is causing things to be unbalanced. And I really like that aspect. I really like that world building aspect to Lazarus. And the idea of why is Lazarus always, you know, why not Lazarus? Why is the city that they are in all the time cloudy? Why is it always like that? When they go out to these places, there's blue skies and that. It's because it's the people. You know, wherever humans are, it's dark, it's gloomy, it's disgusting. But where there's no humans, it's vibrant, it's full of life. And I like that aspect about it. I think that is something that I probably would have liked a little bit more in the first 7 episodes. I would like to know more about that because they really hammer down here again of Skinner blowing the 7th trumpet when they, you know, play back the video. And this is what I mean by it feels like everything else is irrelevant right now, because if they just watch the video properly and dissect the video in the very first episode, wouldn't they have picked up that he said that? And in this episode, they're like, well, what is the 7 trumpets? Like, well, what does that mean? And they go on about the book of revelations and how God, you know, sends this down and that. And I really like that aspect. I think that is some really good world building stuff. But again, did we need to take 7 episodes to get them to go, let's rewatch this video again and dissect it properly this time? I feel like that's the first thing you do. I don't know. I think that's just a bit of a kink in the story, personally, for me. So when they're out here, they diving in the water, and of course, nothing. There's nothing there. But this is where I think a really cool idea and concept that I can get behind, that I think will make this eventually be a better story than it is right now. The idea of Skinner wants to be found, but in a certain way. And in here, in this episode, they talk about going through and viewing the world as Skinner sees it and how he experienced it. And I think that is such a really cool idea and concept, having the Lazarus crew go through that. And you can already see a shift in a certain character, in the lady who has the blonde hair. When she's out there on the boat, she's seeing the world as it is, how beautiful it truly is when humans aren't there meddling with the environment, you know, doing the crap that's destroying it, how peaceful it is. And this is her seeing, okay, Now, maybe Skinner's not wrong about killing the human race. Maybe he's not wrong. Maybe we are the parasites that are causing all of this drama. Maybe we do need to be removed in order for this world to flourish again. And I love that idea and concept of Skinner showcasing that and getting them to go on this journey of almost self-reflection and trying to figure out, well, do I let the humans survive? Do I let the human race survive? Or can we let us survive and change our ways to help ourselves so that we can benefit from it? I really like that aspect. We also now know a bit more about Skinner and what he did when he bought these 4 islands and what for. And this is where we talk about Axel's guide who says, I don't feel pain. So he's never taken the drug in his whole entire life. And this was a very common thing within this community that Skinner ended up buying the island. So you can see where Skinner has been. So I do like the little breadcrumbs here and there, piecing together how he goes. I do think come towards the end of Lazarus, I think we will get an episode and stuff like that where it's all pieced together. And I think then I'll be able to reflect more on the other episodes and see the significance of the certain events in those episodes. Like right now, it does feel like, okay, maybe we should dissect this video first and done this. But then also at the same time, it's like, okay, it is a journey and we are trying to find him. And if he is doing the whole self-reflection journey, trying to see the world through my eyes, I think coming towards the end of Lazarus, when we get there, I think it will come a bit more clearer. Because we only got 14 days left. That's what's left. So, I'm still interested in Lazarus. I'm not going to say it's awful or anything. It's not awful. It's still very good. But I just do feel like I'm waiting for that moment that's really piecing it all together for me. That's like, okay, here we go. Now we're officially here. This now makes sense. This now makes sense. I still think we have a lot of loose things. And like I said, just having them analyze the video now kind of feels like it just doesn't feel right within the story. It kind of makes them lazy. Now, we did get some big reveals. There's a lady that knows the other girl with the long hair when she's at it. She got shorter hair. So is she related? She could be related. It looks like they might be related. But she knows. But the big reveal in this episode is the person who is the head of Lazarus, that one chick, the doctor chick. Well, she was a part of the project with Skinner by the looks of it. So she has connections to Skinner. And that's the big thing. Elaine finds that out and is like, okay, wait. What's going on? So I think that is enough to keep you very interested to be like, okay, so how does the Lazarus crew handle this now with this information? I'm intrigued to see that. But overall, I thought episode 7 was fine. It has things that do push the story along, had other things. It has some really interesting, cool ideas and concepts that I hope they don't just do a one and done with. I hope they don't just leave it there and not come back to that. I do think that is such a really good idea and concept with the whole self-reflection stuff. Love that idea, but we're just going to have to wait and see. But let me know what you guys thought of episode 7. Did you love it? Did you not? Smash it in the comment section below. Smash that like button. Click subscribe, and I'll see you guys next video. Until then, stay safe and peace out.